let's try this again. Every time I make a video now, just my computer goes haywire. So just like people know on this channel, or if you know me, you know that I study dreams. Fascinated by human dreams because I've seen dreams come true in real life. I've had dreams, precognitive dreams before, on multiple occasions. And I've shared some of them on this channel. Now, so in my experiences with precognitive dreams and other psychic phenomena, it fascinates me. And so as a hobby, I study dreams just like Dr. Carl Gustav Jung, who was the father of modern psychiatry. He studied dream. He traveled the world studying dreams, from African tribes to the mental wards in Washington D.C. Anyway, so yeah. So anyway, but so this guy had a dream. He's, and generally I fish in the pond of, I guess you could say, of Christian fanatics, because a lot of Christian fanatics, they post their dreams online. And so I'm not fond of Christian fanatics in America, but they generally, when they have dreams, they'll share them online. Generally, most of the time, when the material you find in dreams, people posting dreams on the internet will be generally uh, of the I guess the easiest way to explain it would be Christian fanatic, right? The and so yeah, so I generally, you know, go through their material, and sometimes I find things that are noteworthy. Now, like this guy's dream, I thought was noteworthy, because I've had similar dreams, and so I'm gonna play some of his dream right now. Um, so, and then I'll go over it, some of the points that are in his dream that I think are fascinating. And if you look at this channel, there's some other dreams on this channel and things I've talked about that correlate with this guy, what he says. But let's get into this. Stand by.
As far as in coming in the signs of the times. So basically, the dream that I received from the Lord, it began with a scene, and the scene was a group of young people. I don't know if they were Christians or if they were non-Christians or both mingled together, but nevertheless, it was a group of young people, quite a few. They were all just standing around, just talking, just very unaware of what was going on, very careless about everything that was happening in the world. Everything was just fine. There was no concerns whatsoever. No sense of, disaster, no sense of, issues to be concerned about, nothing at all like that. They were just having just a good old time together. And there was one particular person in that group, and they would have been considered a trans woman, but they were actually a male, full male features, including a full beard. And they were just kind of, nonchalantly having a good time together, no concerns, no worries. And anyways, the scene at that point shifted to what I'm going to read you now. I'm going to read it because I don't want to depend on my memory, but I'm going to read it. The scene in my dream then changed to a large house outside of the city where my wife Julie and I lived, along with our son Matthew, his wife Cindy, and their children Austin and Jillian. It was nighttime, and there were strange things happening in the dark sky. Strange lights and round, bright spheres in the sky. We all went to bed, and shortly after, I awoke and went to the large picture window, and I saw several large moons traveling high above. I watched in shock as the red moon fell out of the sky and landed in the city beyond. The explosion shook our house, although we were a far distance away. I remember thinking no one could have survived that explosion. The shaking and the noise woke everyone else up, and there were more spheres of different colors traveling to somewhere. Cindy, my daughter in law, then told us to look up. There was a large Star Wars type of aircraft like we had never seen, and it was heading towards the destroyed city. And then the dream ended. Obviously I prayed into that, and I mean, it was quite a shocking dream. Right out of Revelation, right out of the book of Revelation, a large red moon falling right onto that city and destroying everything. And then this Star Wars aircraft was following and going into the city, and I was praying into that, and I felt that the Lord was giving me, the understanding, right, the interpretation of that aircraft, and it was a rescue ship. It was a rescue ship going into the city to see if there were possibly any survivors, and they were going to go there and rescue them and help them. And so that was the dream, and it was quite alarming, to be honest with you. And as I said, I've sat on it for a number of weeks now, just waiting for the right time, wondering even if God wanted me to share it. But this morning He did. He wanted me.
So this guy's dream is interesting, um, and uh, for a number of reasons. What stuck out, like a lot of these people, I watch tons and tons of dream material as a hobby, and I don't find much 90. Let me tell you, 90 from a purely technical standpoint, probably 90. I would say 99% of it is total bullshit. Like 99. I mean, and so you have to really be something you're interested in, or you really, you would lose interest because 99% of it is just whack job for Christian, white Jesus fanatic bullshit, right? But every now and then, it's like mining for gold. Every now and then, I find a piece of gold, and like this one, this was a piece of gold, um, because it basically it fit. Number one, I don't know this guy, right? But if you go back to some of the things that I talk about, um, it matches it perfectly, right? This man, now he doesn't know me, I don't know him, but it matches some of the things I've said almost to the T, right? And so that's what I like about it. Um, the rest of the stuff I throw away. Like I didn't want to hear the, you know, he's a hack. Like I said, these people are white, racist, Nazi, Christian fanatics who think that after they destroyed the whole earth with slavery and colonization and resource wars, that white Jesus is going to come down out of the sky and reward them with a rapture, and then they're going to go up into a cloud and meet, white Jesus in the cloud, and they're going to turn into light, and then they're going to go live in heaven. These people are insane. They have no sense of self-awareness, no sense of, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I guess no sense of self-awareness. They just, that's why I said it borders on fanaticism, right? That's all. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. Where you think you can trash the earth, and then you have this cosmology or this theology where you get off scot free. And he goes on to say, Jesus saves everybody. Jesus wants to save everybody, and blah 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, sir, that is not what the Bible says. So we can cut the rest of that shit out. Somehow they have a so-called precognitive dream of their punishment, and then it gets turned around into Jesus saves everybody. And I'm thinking to myself, how delusional, you see? But like I said, every now and then you find a little piece of gold, and this was golden. And the reason why it was golden was because um, it matches dreams that I've had. Like um, I talked about, I've talked about dreams that I've had, and it almost matched one of the dreams I had. And I liked his detail. He had great detail in the dream, um, and that's what I like. I look for those kind of things, but it's hard to find because most of the time it's just bullshit. It's it's like I said, 99% bullshit. But this was pretty good, and then the guy was very articulate. He was very detailed. You know, generally like the men, I find that when men have dreams, they're very methodical, right, with their descriptions and things of that nature. And I like that. Every now and then you get a female, and her dream will be she'll be very detailed. A lot of times it's just all over the place, and yeah. So, but this was quite interesting. I like what he said about. He talked about how um, he saw, like, I've had dreams where I saw one dream I saw something hit the moon and damn near crack it in half. And then the debris fell to Earth. This was years ago. Another dream I had was of like multiple moons in the sky. Like I looked up in the sky and there were, I think, two moons. One of them was like red, and it looks like the regular moon. And so when people have moon dreams like that, I'm always interested. He talked about that, and he talked about how one of the what he thought was a moon came down. It was something so big it looked like a moon. It was red, and it came down and hit a city, and the city exploded. Now that matches the dream I had years ago, where I saw like the moon, and one of them looked red, and then it looked like one. It looked like two moons in the sky. The regular one was the regular moon. The other moon was what I described as like a red moon. But that was the end, and then I woke up. But what he says gives my dream more detail. He says he saw multiple things in the sky. He heard explosions. One of them looked like a moon. It was so big, and then that so-called red moon came down and hit a city and damn near blew the whole city up. And then what else? Um, I also I also like what he said about he got a feeling in the dream where that he saw like a huge UFO came down after the explosion, after this huge red sphere hit a city and exploded the city. He saw a huge spaceship, a non-Earth vehicle that was huge, and he felt like it was trying to come into the area to save people. It wasn't. Um, but the question is, who was it trying to save? You understand? Goes into what I've talked about. Um, there's no such thing as a rapture, but there is a such thing as salvation. And you must understand that the prophetic or the prophecy of salvation written in the scriptures of the Holy Bible um, are about an event similar to what he described, right? Where it says New Jerusalem looks like a city coming down out of the sky. Now that's a direct quote from Revelations. I may pull that quote up. Stand by. So I like to pull this up when I talk so people can see that I'm not a fucking hack who's just hacking up the Bible and making up shit on my own. You know, just coming up with pulling shit out of my arse, as they say. So let's go over. So this is the prophecy. This is when I say salvation. This is what I'm talking about. There's no such thing as a rapture, but there is salvation. And in this revelation, which is to reveal, John has a dream of the end times, which is now, which that man had a dream, right, about the information in John. Now I'm gonna show all of it to you and match it up so you can see how it plays out. There's no such thing as Jesus saves everybody, right? Let's go through it. Revelations 21. I won't make this too long. Now, this is about spaceships coming down out of the sky, right? You could call it an alien invasion. You would think it is an alien invasion, but it's not. Revelations 21, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven, space, and the first earth had passed away, was destroyed, and there was no more sea. So John saw part of the sea destroyed, right? Something happened and blew the fucking water out of the sea on certain areas, right? And I, John, saw a holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven slash space, right? We know that. We know that what? We know that. So John didn't have a vernacular to say, I saw a spaceship coming down from space. So we have to have enough sense and intelligence and intuition to understand that, right? This is a man hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. He's not going to talk the same way that you talk today. That he didn't see spaceships. John didn't fly in airplanes. Okay, he rode a horse. And so he says, I saw a city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the God out of heaven. Remember what the man said? When the moon came out, this big object hit part of the city, and there were many of them. I think the guy said there were many of these things hitting cities and exploding. It's causing explosions. The ship, he got the feeling that these big spaceships were coming to pick people up. Were looking for people to help them, to save people, save salvation. Jesus is a savior, right? This is what that's about. This is what's about to happen, right? Information is shock resistance. Get ready, right? You won't be making America great again because there won't be no America, right? There won't be a lot of places on the earth is about to be destroyed. He said, and John, saw the holy city, the spaceship, coming down out of heaven, out of space, prepared for a bride adorned for her husband. What is he saying? It was very shiny. It was lights on it like diamonds, pearls, jewels, right? And he said, I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he shall dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God, right? I'm not going to get into some of these translations, mistranslations right now. I want to go over this. What he's saying is, behold, he's saying that these beings, right, that descend from the 12 tribes that are, ancient people, that ancient advanced people, they was trying to tell people, they was broadcasting to people, like, listen, we coming to help y'all, right? And so, let me go. I'm gonna break this down bit by bit. So he goes on to say, and he told them, God shall wipe away your tears from their eyes, right? Who has tears in their eyes? Well, that would be the 30,000 dead people in Gaza, and the children in Gaza with no legs, begging for death by the synagogue of Satan, right? Revelations 2 and 9. They would be the people with tears in their eyes. The Negro in America, in Baltimore, got tears in their eyes, right? All the people shot to death in the streets in Chicago got tears in their eyes, right? While getting mocked by people screaming, "Black, what about black on black crime?" Right? These people got tears in their eyes. Do the people screaming, "What about black on black crime?" Do they got tears in their eyes? No. They're mocking people. They're having fun in America. They're living their best life, as they say, right? They're having a hot girl summer in America, right? They don't have no tears in their eyes. They don't give a fuck, right? I saw Glenn Beck, right, that piece of shit, making mockery of the man who burnt himself in front of the Israeli embassy, who burnt himself to death, screaming, free Palestine, while burning himself to death. You got people on TV mocking him. Do they have tears in their eyes? No, but the man that was burning to death did. Right? He goes on to say, right? There shall be no more death, no more sorrow, no more crying, neither shall there be no more pain, for the former things shall be passed away. America shall be passed away. Israel shall be passed away. You won't have to cry. No more children going to die in Palestine. You're not going to have to wait for a peace deal from the ICJ or the negotiations from Joe Biden, genocide Joe Biden. You're not going to have to wait for the American Congress who don't give a fuck. You're not going to have to wait for nobody, right? The Lord, a host and his army going to take care of it in an hour. You see, like it should be done. Like, that's real justice. Real justice don't take 3 months while you slaughter babies in their cribs and blow up hospitals and churches, right? And put up gay pride flags on the rubble of dead children while wild dogs eat the blood and bones and flesh of the corpses in the streets in Gaza, in the home of the so-called birthplace of Jesus Christ. But you're not appalled. Glenn Beck not appalled by this. Joe Biden not appalled by this. It don't move them. But it moved this man, Aaron Bush, now to burn himself to death. try not to make this too long. And so he sat upon the throne, and so he's going to make all that new, meaning I'm going to get rid of all of this, right? And he said unto me, it is done. It is done. When you see the ships, it's over with. It's over. It's done. He told John, it's done. He's here. The armies is here. It's over with. You see, as he destroys the cities, right, of the enemies of God. You see, God is very displeased with America and the American. You don't want to be an American. You don't want to be a capitalist. You don't want to be a Zio-Nazi. All these things, right? You ain't going to want to be none of those things when the time comes. He said, because it is done. It's over with, right? He said, right, for these words are true and faithful. These words are true and faithful. These not lies. Like Joe Biden, like your mother and father, right? Like your aunts and uncles telling lies, right? Like your governor telling lies. Benjamin Netanyahu telling lies. Barack Obama told you lies. Change you could believe in. Your life got worse, right? He said, these words shall be true and faithful. And he said unto me, John, it is done. I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. I wrote the end and the beginning in the book hundreds of years ago, and now it's happening. That's what he means. I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. I am the beginning. I can see the future. I can predict the future. I can tell you in the past what's going to happen in the future. You see, I am the Alpha and Omega. I am the beginning and I am the end. Revelation, he told you hundreds of years ago in Ezra, the beginning, the Alpha and the Omega, and the end, Revelations, and now it's happening. You see? And he says, I will give unto him that thirst the fountains of water of life freely. So Jesus Christ is a communist bastard. You see? Jesus Christ is a socialist, communist bastard, according to Joe Biden and the Congress of the United States and Europe and Israel and all these people. Jesus Christ is a communist and a socialist. He says, everybody that's thirsty, I shall give them a fountain of water of life freely. You see? I'm going to help people for free. I'm not charging you no money, and I'm going to save your life. And I'm going to destroy the enemies of God and of the God of the universe. What more you want from me? All I ask is for you to follow the rules. That's all I'm asking, right? Be faithful and true like me, and I won't kill you. That's all he's saying to you, right? But the Negro in America can't do it. Y'all can't do it. You can't turn off the TV, right? You can't stop. I can't stop this. And so he's gonna stop the whole goddamn thing. He's gonna smoke this whole goddamn rock and say it is done. This is what he's telling you right here. And he said, I'm gonna help the people that want help. Like me, I want help. He said, I'll help you for free, Black Bodhisattva. And I said, yes, Lord, I'll take the help. What do you need me to do? You see, it's just that easy. It's not hard, right? And he goes on to say, number 7, he that overcome shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. See, he didn't say, I am the Son of God. That's a bad translation. He said, I am a son of God. Do you understand the difference with your small minds and your small propagandized Nazi minds? Right? Do you understand what he's saying right here in John that's been there for hundreds of years? He's telling you there's a mistranslation in the book. He said, he that overcome shall inherit all things that I shall give him. And I will be his God, and he shall be my son. He's talking about me. You see? And people like me. So he didn't say Jesus is the only Son of God or the Son of God. The translation, correct translation is Jesus is a son of God. That means you are too, and I am too, and he is too, depending on who you are. You see? Notice the difference in a small word. Notice how they tricked you, how the devil tricked you and created Christianity. A bastardized form of the Bible with just this one verse that I'm showing you right here in front of your face. I shall be called the Son of God, you see. I am a son of God, right? That's awesome. I shall be, right? He shall be my father, and I shall be his son, you see. You understand? You understand? You see, because why? I overcame the propaganda of the mind. I overcame the Satanic doctrine. You have to overcome the Satanic doctrine to become a son of God. Not only that, you have to be out of the race of the Christians. You have to be out of the bloodline of the 12 tribes. Number one. And number two, you have to overcome the Satanic doctrine that's been put in your minds. You see, because he's not having it. You can run up there dressed like a woman if you want, and he'll turn your ass into a walking piece of charcoal right where you stand. But the fearful, here we go, let's get it. The fearful, the unbelieving, the abominable. What's abominable? Abominable is a man in a fucking dress. Tyler Perry. Wesley Snipes. Marlon Wayans. I could go on. Abominable is a man in a dress. Abominable is a man who now chopped off his fucking dick, got a vagina, and says, my name is not Michael now, my name is Michelle. That's abominable. He said, but the fearful, see, many fear God. The fearful and the unbeliever, you see. You say, these are not the troops of the Most High God. I don't believe this. These are aliens or something. They're going to tell you some bullshit. You are an unbeliever. You're going to be destroyed. He says, the abominable. You see? The people that slaughtered the Palestinian tribes, right? Of Judah and Gaza and the outskirts of Jerusalem, right? The murderers, the whoremonger, the sorcerer, the idolater, right? The people with crosses on. He's gonna kill you. He's gonna turn that cross into fucking charcoal right on your neck. Yeah, because that's idolatry, you see? With your crosses, your nasty filthy crosses everywhere, right? And your cobblestones, right? And your nasty pictures of white Jesus everywhere. Blasphemy, that's blasphemy, that's idolatry, right? And the liar, you said, this is the Son of God. And you put up this white man in Brazil, he's gonna burn that shit to the ground, right? The fearful, the unbelieving, the abominable, the murderer, the whoremonger, right? You want all the motherfuckers selling pussy on Instagram. You see? The whoremongers. I'm an independent woman. You might be, but one thing you definitely gonna be soon is an independent piece of charcoal. If this is true, right? And it says in the verse before this is faithful and true. You see? The whoremonger, right? I'm an independent woman. I'm a school teacher, and at the school I sell pussy on Instagram. Okay, right on. The sorcerers, you see? The idolater, the liar, the Obamas, the Joe Bidens, the Benjamin Netanyahus. Your mother, your father is a fucking bunch of liars. Your sisters, your brothers, they're all the liars, right? They don't want to admit the truth. They just telling each other lies all day and they live in a fucking bubble. Sean Hannity, All these professional liars on TV, on CNN, Anderson Cooper, right? All the professional liars, the propagandists, making up shit. It's right here. The fearful, the unbelieving, the abominable, the murderers, right? The killer cops, the whoremongers, the sorcerers, right? They shall have their part in a lake of fire which burn with fire, brimstone, which is the second death. Ain't that what I told y'all before? I showed y'all before. It's right here. How many times does it have to say it? Not to mention the people have to dream about it. I told you what the lake of, what did I tell you in the last video the lake of fire was? What did I tell you? Blue, green lasers, things coming down out of the sky, burning the earth, creates the lake of fire. What is written right in front of your face? I said the same thing. Mind you, before I saw this man's dream. And there came, let's move on, I'm trying to wrap this up. And there came unto me one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials full of the plagues. And he talked with me. He said, come here, I will show thee the bride of the Lamb's wife. Let's see. Oh, here we go. And then let's go down. I want to get more on this, and then I'm gonna wrap. Right? He says, and he carried me away to the spirit into a great and high mountain, and showed me the city of holy Jerusalem descending out of heaven from God. Now we know that he didn't pick Jerusalem up from the Middle East, send it up into space, and then bring it down back down, right? I mean, you had to be a dumbass to think that. So what is he saying? It's a spaceship. A huge spaceship. The same thing this man said in his dream, right? So he said, the spirit great and high, and he showed me a great city, Jerusalem descending out of heaven from God, right? Having glory of God, her light was like unto stone most precious, even like jasper and clear as crystal. So the ships in the night, they were just blazing with light, the lights of the ship, right? Well, all the ships were lit up as it came down out of the sky, of course. All the electronics and stuff. And it had a wall great and high, and 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. I think we can end on that. I mean, there's more in this, but I'm going to end. I don't want to make this too long. I'm going to wrap on that. Let's wrap that right there. Amen. Let's wrap that right there. Let's wrap it right there. See, it goes back to what I say. And I'm basically teaching you, if you listen to this. Nobody listens. I think like 3 people watch my videos. So most people will be caught off guard except maybe the 3 people that watch my video, my vlogs, right? That can get it. They may watch it. They may not even understand. It might just be censors watching it. But what does it say? It had, so the ship had a walls great and high. It was a huge ship. This is what John was describing. And it had 12 gates on the ship. Above each gate, at each gate was a soldier. John called them angels, but they are soldiers with weapons and scanning devices. Like the man said in his dream, the ships were looking for people to save them. Ain't that what the man said? Ain't that what he said? They were looking for this ship. He knew that these ships that were landing were looking for people to save them. Well, that's written in the book of Revelations in 12. Had a wall great and high and 12 gates. This is the part he left out, but I'm going to tell you because John told you. There were 12 gates, and at the gates, 12 soldiers, and the names written above. So the soldiers were standing at gates with a name on the gate, meaning if you weren't associated with the names above those gates, you can't get on the ship. There is no salvation for you. Everybody, a Christian is not everybody. Jesus doesn't save. This is salvation. Jesus is not saving everybody, right? Meaning when you say Jesus Christ, the Messiah or the messianic event of salvation is not for everybody. is only for the people right here, as it is written in John. It says above, you have to go to those gates. You're going to be running to those ships to get the fuck out of here, because everything's going to be burning and on fire and being destroyed. And so you run up to the ship, and they're going to scan you. Who are you? Well, I'm such and such. I'm, you know, they say, I got my, you know, you ain't got no ticket. Like, yeah, I want to get on the ship. I want to get the fuck out of here. Whoa, 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 whoa. So they got to scan you. How would they know where you from? If they collect, because these ships are going to be landing everywhere across the planet. How would they know where you from? If you just run up to the ship, people panicking, right? These huge ships, and you run up to the ship while Baltimore is burning. You see? I told my mom something one day. I said, you need the book of Ezra missing out your Bible. She said, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Right? She mocked me and shit. I'm thinking to myself, if you don't give a fuck and something happens and you claim to be a Christian, how will you know how to react? I don't give a fuck about that. You know why you don't give a fuck? Because you're not really a Christian and you don't believe in that book, that Bible, and you don't understand what it says. It's your instructions for getting the fuck off this planet when it burns, or getting off of this part of the planet that gets burnt up. So if you say, I don't give a fuck what book ain't in the Bible or what's not written, or I don't care about what you're saying, that's fine. But then when something happens, how do you know what to do? If you don't give a fuck. You know, it's kind of my thought, but, you know, I just left it alone, right? So people are going to be trying to, you want to get out of here. You say, oh shit, Baltimore is burning. Chicago is burning, right? They're being struck, not with nuclear weapons. I had a dream, and that dream, and this is how I know this is, I think this is about to happen. In the dream, my grandmother was, I digress, but I'm gonna tell the story. My grandmother was sick. She was sick, about to die. I went to the hospital to see her. When I went to see her, I was in the hospital room with family and her. Explosions were going on outside. Everybody thought that we were being attacked by Russia. Huh, interesting. What's going on right now? America is antagonizing the Russians. When I went to the window, when people really went to look, it was spaceships outside bombing the cities. Just like in this man's dream. So if your city, your cities are being attacked, you see, and blown up, right? Not by Russians. What do? And then you run over to and you know, shit gets so bad, everything's burning, boom, 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 boom. The cities come like the man said in his dream, and you want to get on the ship. What's going to happen? Well, John tells you what's going to happen. You're going to try to get on the ship, but the ship's going to have a name written above the doors, and there's going to be a soldier there. He's going to scan you, right? And he wants to know your pedigree. He wants to know, there'll be I guess you could call it a DNA test, right? They want to know your DNA. Are you an alien hybrid? Or are you or are you one of the organic people? The 12 tribes of the earth. Do you descend from the 12 tribes of the earth, or are you an alien hybrid or something? So you have to get scanned. And then, based on what it says right here, you can get on the ship. You see? What does it say? And the gates, there were names written on each gate, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. They the only people getting on the ship, unfortunately. Right? They're the only people getting on the ship. Everybody else is going to be destroyed. Right? What does that mean? They're going to have to scan you and check your DNA. Because there's a lot of filthy DNA on this planet. There's a lot of inorganic people on this planet that don't descend from the original bloodlines of the earth. You see? That's why in the chapter before that, I'm not going to go back, I'm going to wrap this. He says, the abominable will be destroyed. Inorganic humans are abominable to the Most High and His armies. You see, only the only thing will survive when this is over with will be everything organic that was on the earth. Remember how Moses in the story, was it Moses? No, I'm sorry, not Moses. Noah. He took two of everything, all the animals. You see, Noah wasn't taking no GMO, right? The Lord not dealing with genetically modified organisms. Only people that descend from these original 12 tribes that have their DNA and, you know, are going to be allowed, or I guess a significant amount of their DNA. You see? If your DNA is polluted and you can't be traced to these 12 bloodlines, original bloodlines of the earth, then you're going in the lake of fire. You understand? I tried to make this as clear as possible, right? To tie it all in. So anyway, I don't want to make this too long. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you learned something. That's all I got for now.